Yes, it's true. The thumbnail is correct. I did not lie. In my title, I genuinely cried over the latest chapters of My Hero Academia, specifically the leaks. I, to be honest with you, I don't even know where to begin because, damn, everything's just peak. Everything, the collision. Like, this is the moment that we've been waiting for ever since. I don't know, man. Every chapter of My Hero Academia it's just been getting better and better over time right now. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now I know a lot of you may say that My Hero Academia is bad or that it's the Disney Channel of the manga industry. But honestly, who the fuck gives a shit? Like generally, w- I don't care if it's a Disney Channel of the manga industry. I don't care, man. My Hero Academia is really good. Like it's really really good. I don't know how to explain it, but when I was reading this chapter, that I came across the leak in TikTok, and then there's this very inspiring and very awestruck song coming along with it. So maybe that's what helped intensify the emotion. But holy, it's just it's so good. The juxtaposition, the meanings, the the characters representing what they embody, everything. It's so good. Okay, so we're getting heavy on the spoilers territory here, so continue to your own risk. But I just want to say, so basically, the chapter begins. So basically, there's Aoyama falling behind because AFO's tentacles destroy the piece of the ground, but then he goes and tell Deku's that go ahead, something along those lines, and we see this pattern to different characters basically. And you see Deku not even wearing his usual hero uniform. He's just wearing like shit. I don't know, man. I think he's just wearing a torn pants and t-shirt, and his hands are bandaged. Very similar to how he was before in the first early on chapters. So there's a bit of a juxtaposition there, metaphor or something. I don't know, but basically, yeah, he's now approaching All for One, and there's this All for One's tentacles rampaging and everything, and a lot of people are helping Deku. There's this there's this specific panel where All for One was gonna release his what do you call it? The one he used against Bakugo. The he was using the I think it was using the olfactor. No, I don't know what it's called. Full release quirk factor, I think. Basically, he was about to blast that, is except that it's much stronger apparently, he says, and it's much more condensed. And it shoots right at Deku. But then holy hell, Hagakure swoop in with her transparency powers and reflected the goddamn laser out of nowhere. Like, damn, okay. And then after that, Yaoyoro also quickly builds a railgun, and then there's Kaminari charging with electricity towards AFO. But of course, All for One blocks the attacks. And then there's this juxtaposition and everything that so there's this thing that they explain it in the manga. There's this juxtaposition that it's very different of um how All Might was a symbol of peace versus how Deku right now is a symbol of peace. When it was All Might, it was the sense of security, that overbearing and all powerful symbol, as if it will never be broken, it is impregnable, it can never be destroyed. That is what was All Might's legacy. That he was so good at being a hero that basically, I remember that it basically almost he almost completely eradicated crime just because of how good he is, just because of how strong, how impactful, how iconic his symbol was or what he stands for. That you will never feel fear, you will never feel discomfort, you will never feel insecurity under that symbol. And yet at the same time, here in Deku's symbol, or or what he stands for right now, is that you can see a lot of the characters are face full of insecurity. They're 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 scared because who wouldn't? Holy shit! Like it's an all-out war against the villains and the heroes, something along those lines. And they're feeling anxiety. They're feeling that he's gonna be destroyed. All Might's legacy is gone. But yet at the same time, there's something beautiful. Now, here's the juxtaposition: is that it says here that it's exactly the reason that Deku cannot uphold that exact symbol. It's also the reason why that this situation right now, or rather, this situation right now is the situation right now is very favorable for them. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but basically, that feeling of insecurity, yet at the same time, that feeling of being awestruck by Deku's courage and determination to face the odds, even at an overwhelming disparity, despair, and something along those lines. It actually gave them strength and to hope for, and to not only place the burden on a single person, to take matters in their own hands and help, because they know that the symbol of peace, that overbearing sense of security, will not help them. Instead, what they need to do right now is that they need to help. They need to come together and actually unite and make that symbol to make sure that the villains or the bad guys will not lose. Because the future is now in their hands. And then there's this whole spiel. AFO doesn't understand like how heroes, like heroes can barely move here, like literally cannot move. They're basically pretty much forcing their bodies to move, beaten, bruised, bloodied, everything, borderline dead. And yet AFO is wondering why they just won't give up. And that's exactly like a parallel to what Deco represents, that they just won't give up because they know that they're the ones who need to uphold the symbol, to uphold the morals, to uphold the dignity, and they know that the future is full of uncertainty now, and it's up to all of them, to all of the heroes, not even the heroes, to all of the people involved, to predict where no, not predict, sorry, to forge a path towards this brighter future or something. And I it's just, I don't know, it's, I'm sorry, it's uh it just, it just really blew me away. Like, way through the panel, I was definitely bawling my eyes out just because of how great it is. It made me feel inspired, encouraged, and everything. And there's this panel, and there's this panels of different characters saying, just cheering on Deku, do your best, everything. And then All Might raises his arm, and then sees an image of Deku running towards the sky, and then continues. And then on that day, he says this, huh? He says it. On that day, you became my greatest hero. Because that one boy who's sacrificing everything, taking every risk for himself, like he might not even be get out alive in this moment, at this moment, sacrificing everything, even with that uncertainty. That's what exactly what a hero means. And like the moment I saw that panel with those words, like, oh my god, goosebumps, chills, literal chills. And then there's this final panel in which Deku finally comes to Shigaraki, or All for One, and then punches him. And then there's the next chapter, something something shenanigans. Like, oh, and they're not taking a break next week. Next week, so goddamn, I don't know what to say. It's just that, holy, I don't know. I'm just impressed. I'm really just impressed. I'm it's amazing. I don't know, man. It's peak. A lot of people will bash me for this, but My Hero Academia is definitely one of the best shonen mangas right now. Even with its somewhat cringe fan base, it doesn't diminish the impact of this chapter one bit. It's so amazing, it's encouraging, it uplifted me, made me bawl my eyes out. That's it. Okay, that's it. I just really needed to get this off my chest because it's so amazing. I don't know, man.